Letting your coochie breathe. Disclaimer, I am not a gynaecologist. Toothbrush bristles. Say that 20 times over, 10 times faster, and I'll give you £100. Good for the taste and smell of your vagina. If you're home alone for the day, literally let it hang out. Hi guys, welcome back to my, right, let's move that out of the way first of all. Yeah, let's start again. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yes, this is not a video I ever thought I was gonna thought of doing. I feel like I'm known for or get asked a lot, should I say, about things like skincare and how I maintain myself. And I am very much someone that likes to keep up with things like hair and nails and get your feet done and make sure you don't smell and make sure you smell good at every moment of the day. And even when I go to bed, I put oud oil on myself or I spray perfume. I've been doing it since I was really young. My mum made sure that I was that person. So yeah, I've been through almost all of the stuff that I'm gonna talk to you guys about. But yeah, I just feel like during quarantine, you know, since we're allowed to let ourselves go, I just feel like there could be people just, I don't know, just letting things just deteriorate. And you know, quite frankly, it's just not it, you know? So I just feel like, quarantine or not, you gotta keep everything good and right and tight all damn time, period. But on a serious note, guys, I'm not here to pass any judgment. I'm not here to criticize. I'm genuinely here just to share the knowledge I have, but also talk to you guys, about the experiences that I've had, because I feel like as your hormones change, as you mature as a child into a young lady into a woman, etc., etc., your body just goes through so many different things. So I feel like this is something that when I was younger, I wish I was told more of. And don't get me wrong, my mum was very, very open and honest about everything. Like, my mum would quite literally lift up my armpits and put her whole nose in my armpit before I left for school, just to make sure that I was not the child that was known for having BO. And I'm pretty sure there was probably still days that I was. It happens, hormones change, but now we're in quarantine and now we have time to focus on things. Now is the time to get our right. So then when we're done and quarantine is over, we'd be smelling good all the time in every area. So yeah, I feel like now is a good time for me to share my feminine hygiene tips. One of the first things that I was always told growing up, and I am like a huge advocate for now, is letting your coochie breathe. Damn! Vagina, coochie, however you guys want to say it. I'm really not trying to offend anyone, but let it breathe. Like, when you go to bed, I know obviously people don't live alone, or they live with people that aren't their partners, i.e. like family members, like parents or brothers or stuff like that. But honey, any chance you get, let it breathe. And if you can't literally let it hang out, wear loose fitting clothing. It needs to breathe. Like, a buildup of sweat can eventually smell. Where the vagina cleans itself as well, the last thing you need is like an excessive buildup of that. It can lead to things like thrush, and all these different types of things do have smells with them. If you're home alone for the day, literally let it hang out, or wear jogging bottoms or shorts with no underwear underneath. You know, if you're someone that likes to wear jeans or tight clothes, wear them, by all means wear them, but just don't wear them all the time and don't wear them unnecessarily. Like, it's genuinely so important to let it breathe. It needs fresh air. Just let it woosah. It needs fresh air, especially during the night, because that's when most of us sweat even more than we even probably are aware of, that we can imagine. But yeah, if you live at home with your partner, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna mind. I'm pretty sure he'll tell you to let it breathe and let it hang out. He's not gonna be complaining, I'm telling you for free. If I had a man and I was at home with my man and he ever complained that I was walking around with my coochie hanging out, there's a problem. Like, you should want that out all the time. The next thing that I was told was to keep, there's a mosquito in here. Fuck's sake. Keep the area dry at all times. If you've just had a workout and you're sweaty, or you're fresh out of the shower, like, I know that for a lot of people it's like a habit that when they're fresh out of the shower, even before they dry themselves, they quickly put underwear on. And I completely understand that, but then your underwear becomes wet and that dampness kind of stays with you for the rest of the day, and that can cause things like infection. It holds on to unnecessary bacteria. It's the last thing you need. And then again, that can then further down the line lead to a not very attractive smell. Disclaimer, I am not a gynecologist. I am not a doctor. I am just purely saying what I was told or learned, or any information that I've researched, or anything that even my doctors and gynecologists have told me. It is very important to make sure the area is dry at all times. If you do have a workout in the morning, or you go to the gym and you're really, really sweaty, it's important that you shower straight after. Or if you do just have a shower, make sure you dry the area before you just chuck underwear on, because the last thing you need is to just feel sweaty and sticky down there. Eat the right thing. I know everyone has heard the phrases along the lines of, you know, you are what you eat, and it starts from within and stuff like that. It is so important. So for example, things like yogurts that contain what is known as good for you bacteria is genuinely really good to help promote vaginal health. And just not necessarily stick to healthy food, but try and eat foods that are good for your body within. You know, our body reacts to what we digest. When it's things like water, when it's an excessive amount of salt, etc., etc., our body reacts to it, and the last thing you want is to be digesting an excessive amount of things that are not good for you, and the outcome is that your body responds in a way that it lets off either bad odors, or you excessively sweat, or just stuff like that. So I don't know. In fact, before I even say anything, let me just Google something and find something out. I've just Googled to see what fruits or veg or just food in general is good for the taste and smell of your vagina. And apparently garlic's really good, but it's now come up saying that women are quite literally putting garlic inside of their vagina. So we're just gonna cancel that, and we're gonna move on to the fruits. Apparently you can change your taste with your diet. So if you drink quite a lot of either coffee or juices or beers, apparently you'll have more of a bitter taste. But if you drink loads of water and add fruit to your diet, it's supposed to taste better and sweeter. So I guess that makes sense as to why people go for like the fruits and the watermelons and the mangoes and the pineapples. But there's also no scientific evidence. All I know is that I'm gonna continue to eat my fruit.
Juicy.
Period.
Oh,
This one is a good one. Wash and replace your towels, whether it's the towels you use in the shower or bath, whether it's the towel you use or the pillowcases you use in your bed. Wash and replace them. This is such a big problem in so many different areas of your body. Apparently reusing towels isn't the best of ideas because bacteria can cling to the surface, and then this can later down the line cause infections. I don't really have time for infections. Never had one, don't want one, period, done. I'm good, thank you. I think if all you need to do is consistently wash your towels, it shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard. This is definitely something I need to make sure that I keep on top of. I am an OCD queen, so my towels get washed very frequently, but I'm feeling like I need to wash them a little bit more. And the same goes for if you lay your towels over your pillowcases, or whether you sleep directly on your pillowcases. It can also cause spots because leftover makeup residue could be on there, hair oil if you douse your hair in grease, or even just moisturizer on your face. It doesn't need to still be on your pillow and then put straight back onto your face the next day. Some people are blessed enough to never have spot prone skin. I'm one of them. I definitely get spots. Makeup is a godsend, love it, period, okay, thank you. But generally speaking, it is also a key thing to note that when it comes to things like skincare, it's very crucial. In the same way that you would wash your makeup brushes frequently and your makeup sponges frequently and your face frequently, you should also wash the areas in your house, whether it's your bed or your pillows on your sofa, that you put your face on frequently to prevent any breakouts, any bacteria spreading to different areas, and just spots in general. Cotton underwear is better than silk or satin. So this is something that growing up I was always told, but I am a fan of silk. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and pretend I'm not. I love silk underwear, I love satin underwear, but cotton underwear is actually better. Reason being is that cotton normally doesn't hold moisture because of the way that it's normally sewn or stitched, shall I say. It has a natural moisture wicking, which then in theory causes a drying effect. So the moisture that is released from you almost automatically dries. Now I'm not saying that there aren't cotton underwears that hold on to moisture, but let me give you an example. Materials such as this, so a satiny, silky material, is not as effective in the drying effect as a cotton type material. Yes, I just put my whole thong on the internet. It's better to wear more cotton style underwear. There's also the fact that sometimes with some silks and some satins, it can be quite irritating. And the last thing you then need to do is then be itching down there, scratching down there, constantly having to wash down there because it's irritated. Wear deodorant no matter what. I feel like, I can't even believe it's a thing to say this, but I'm not gonna lie, like when I was a little bit younger in my very early teens, my mum would have to be like, Jordan, you need to put on deodorant, don't forget. And I know it sounds silly, but a lot of people naturally forget to put it on. You leave the bathroom after you've showered and you've got dressed. If you're someone that gets dressed in your room, you get dressed, you leave, and you're like, oh yeah, I have to go back and put deodorant on. Wear deodorant at all times. And the reason I say at all times is we are in quarantine. We don't need to leave our houses, but that doesn't mean you now need to be smelling up your house. Wear deodorant. Some deodorants that I've researched are good. You know, I'm someone that uses Dove roll-on and Dove spray. From what I've looked up, some really, really good ones. I will also write them down here so you guys can see the name and put any links that I need to in the bio. Are clinical strength antiperspirant deodorant by a brand called Secret. And an absolutely amazing one is the Dove Dry Serum Antiperspirant, obviously by Dove. And they are two amazing roll-ons. The thing I try and do is I like to use products that a baby could use. I know deodorant is not one, but I like to use products that have little to no added extras in them, and they're quite natural, organic and pure, because I just feel like on your body they work better. Also, something that, just as a side note, is a really, really good thing to take note of is when washing or having a shower, as much as all of these soaps smell nice and they smell like bubblegum or cherries or bananas or whatever it is, sometimes the best products you can use are genuinely things that children use, because the last things companies do or parents do is give their children things that have too many added extras, too many perfumes, too many paraffins, stuff like that. And something that's a thing I've done since I was young is use 0% everything. Sanex for me is like one of the best body washes, especially Sanex for kids or Sanex Zero, because it has no added anything in it. It doesn't even have a color, and it genuinely works wonders. So that's also another tip that I would personally give based on my own personal experience, is to use products that kids or babies use. I am surprised that this is even a thing that should even be said, but honey, when you brush your teeth, you need to brush your tongue. You need to brush your tongue. Like, you need to brush your tongue.
That's a dead thing. That's a bad breath take.
The tongue is genuinely the place that, other than the gaps in your teeth or just any crevice or anything like that within your mouth, it holds on to all the bacteria. Brushing your tongue on a regular basis, and when I say regular basis, I mean every time you brush your teeth, is very important, because it eliminates odor causing germs that sit on your tongue, and then that can lead to things like halitosis. And no one needs halitosis in today's day. It's just not needed. It's not needed. And it's literally as simple as brushing your tongue, whether you need to buy a tongue scraper. It's probably not called a tongue scraper, but I'm gonna call it a tongue scraper. Or you buy the toothbrushes that have the bit on the back of them, on the back of the head of it, that is specifically for your tongue. Or you use your actual just toothbrush bristles and brush your tongue. That was a tongue twister. We're gonna do that again. Toothbrush bristles. Say that 20 times over, 10 times faster, and I'll give you £100. But genuinely, whether you need to use just your normal toothbrush, brushing your tongue is so important. No one needs bad breath. And after you've done all of that, then you can use things like mouthwash and stuff like that. But it's almost like cancelling it out. There is no point using mouthwash in the morning, eating loads and loads and loads during the day, and when you go to sleep at night, you just brush your teeth and don't brush your tongue. You do the same thing the next day. The bacteria is still going to build up. It's still going to be there. Halitosis is going to become a thing, and we just don't need halitosis. We don't need it. No, thank you. Wash your feet daily. And I don't mean when you have a bath or a shower, you just stand there and you wash the rest of your body and you don't actually scrub the bottom of your feet. Like, it is so important to wash the bottom of your feet for so many reasons. Your feet sweat. Whether they quite literally drip with sweat or they become moist or not, your feet sweat. There are pores on the bottom of your feet and they secrete sweat. Be clean. You walk on them inside your house with or without slippers, with or without socks or shoes. they build up sweat, they stink, and then the odor that comes off of them then transfers into your shoes. Every time you wear those shoes, every time you take them off, your feet smell. Wearing cotton socks, a bit like wearing cotton underwear, is very, very good. It absorbs the sweat and allows your feet to breathe. So it's very good at absorbing the moisture and allowing the air through. Don't really know if you're going to be wearing silk socks. Don't really know if that's a thing. I think all socks are pretty much cotton. But, you know, wearing cotton socks instead of like the big fluffy ones all the time is definitely a thing that should be done. Really, really good to clean the inside of your shoes. If you wear the same pair of shoes to work, or you wear the same pair of shoes to go to the gym, it's so important to wash them. Even if you don't wash the whole trainer or shoe, take out the insole if it's able to come out and wash them. If you can't put them in a washing machine, quite literally clean them out. The odor is very much there, and it is a very good thing to do to make sure that you clean the inside of your shoes. Because if you've cleaned your feet and the problem is no longer your socks and your feet and the problem is your shoes, then you need to do the same thing as you're doing to your feet. Clean that shit. So important to let yourself breathe, let your body breathe. If you're sweating, let it out. Like, instead of harboring scents and smells on your clothes, in your shoes, in your socks and stuff like that, let yourself breathe and just woosah. I think that is it. Like I've said, I'm going to keep saying it. I am not a gynecologist. I am not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I am not here to give medical advice. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm just sharing with you the tips that I've learned and I'm still learning, that I think is really important, especially during quarantine, because now's the time that naturally we would let ourselves go. No one's seeing us. We're not going anywhere. We have no one to dress up for unless we live with our mans. But that doesn't mean we need to then become lax on hygiene. I think now our hygiene needs to be better than ever, to be honest. So when we come out of quarantine, bam, we come back with a bang. But yeah, guys, those are my top tips when it comes to hygiene. I hope it was informative. I didn't want to tell you guys loads of information. I thought I'd write it on the screen so you can read it in your own times. Don't forget to share, comment, like, subscribe and all of that. And if you guys have any tips that I could learn from, or any other tips that you've heard based on what I've just said, or even something completely separate, please do comment below and share them. I would absolutely love to know. I hope everyone is staying safe and positive during this time. This was a nice, light-hearted but informative video at the same time. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video.